Coming up today, the presidential office announces that President Park Geun-hye will travel to China early next month for war anniversary events and summit talks with her Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. Samsung Electronics releases 2 new smartphone models in Korea. Samsung hopes the Galaxy Note 5 and the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus will boost its sluggish smartphone sales. Plus, scores of public and private officials are under investigation in China after last week's devastating Tianjin explosions. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello, it's noon on Thursday, the 20th of August. You're tuned in to our midday newscast here on Arirang TV. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Broome. Our top story this afternoon, after days of will she or won't she, we have confirmation that President Park Geun-hye will attend China's war victory celebrations in Beijing next month. Her office says President Park will embark on a 3-day trip to China on September 2nd and is scheduled to attend events to mark the 70th anniversary of Japan's surrender in World War II on the 3rd. She will also meet Chinese President Xi Jinping for summit talks. However, it remains to be seen whether the Korean leader will make an appearance at the Chinese military's parade, viewed by many Western countries as Beijing's way of flaunting its military prowess. Now, today's announcement comes after the Korean Presidential Office and the White House denied a recent Japanese report that said the US asked that President Park avoid the ceremonies, saying it could send the signal that there's a rift in the South Korea-US alliance. President Park is also planning to attend a ceremony to mark the reopening of headquarters in Shanghai that belonged to Korea's provisional government during Japan's colonial rule. South Korea has sent a letter to the UN Security Council's 15 member states about the recent landmine explosion inside the demilitarized zone that left 2 South Korean soldiers seriously injured. Following an investigation, Seoul accused Pyongyang of being behind the attack, although the regime has denied any involvement. An official at Seoul's foreign ministry told reporters on Thursday that the letter lays out the results of the investigation into the mine blast. It also labels the attack a violation of the arms disagreement that effectively ended the 1950 to 1953 Korean War. North Korea has yet to respond to Seoul's moves. The National Assembly's Special Budget Committee is on day 3 of its questioning sessions on the government's budget settlement for 2014, with lawmakers focusing solely on economic ministries today. Lawmakers are grilling Finance Minister Choi Kyung-hwan and other heads of economic departments on the government's economic policies and their budget execution last year. The tax deficit and restructuring of tax schemes in particular are the main issues being discussed. The committee will convene another questioning session on Friday, this time regarding non-economic government ministries. The committee is expected to deliberate on the government's budget settlement for last year next week. And Korea's rival parties agreed to hold the parliamentary inspection of government offices starting next month. The 3-week audit session will start from September 10th until just before the Chuseok holidays and resume on October 1st through the 8th. The ruling Saenuri Party wanted to hold the audit session as soon as the September regular session started. Now, the main opposition, New Politics Alliance for Democracy, agreed to the ruling bloc's demands, as the National Assembly also needs to work on budget examinations for next year. However, with only 3 livelihood bills passed thus far and just 2 weeks remaining before the close of the August extraordinary session, concerns are mounting that it will fail to yield any significant results. The smartphones are getting bigger, and so is the buzz. Korea's Samsung Electronics has officially released not 1 but 2 large-screen smartphone models on its home turf right here in Korea. The company hopes the devices will give its flagging smartphone sales a much-needed shot in the arm. Song Ji-sun reports.
1 week after their unveiling at a glitzy press event in New York City, Samsung Electronics' latest phablet models, the Galaxy Note 5 and the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, hit store shelves in Seoul and across Korea on Thursday. Both devices come with rounded edges, wireless charging, and attractive pricing, with the retail price of a 32GB Galaxy Note 5 dropping below the $900 mark for the first time.
Compared to my Nexus smartphone, I really like the Note 5's design and colors. I've just tried taking photos with it, and the device's processing speed and resolution are impressive.
As well as the new smartphones, the Korean tech giant has also launched Samsung Pay. The mobile payment service enables users to buy things by tapping their smartphone against credit card readers. Looking to get a head start on Apple ahead of the iPhone 6s's expected arrival next month, Samsung sped up the launch by a couple of weeks. Samsung has a firm grip on the global smartphone market, but Apple and Chinese manufacturers have been eating into their share, despite the Korean firm's release of other high-end devices in the first half.
Samsung has loaded its new models with its most advanced technology. It has also improved its supply chain, which came up short in the first half with the Galaxy S6 Edge model. But the outlook for the mobile sector remains dim, as competition with Apple will intensify at the high end of the market. Samsung has better earnings prospects in memory chips, where market conditions are more favorable.
Samsung has also revamped its low-end smartphone lineup in a desperate bid to reverse its dropping share of the global smartphone market. Sales in both premium and low-end categories will be crucial to Samsung's hopes of rebounding from record low profitability in the second half. 송지선, Arirang News.
The Chinese government is stepping up its investigation into those responsible for last week's deadly explosion of a chemical warehouse in Tianjin that killed at least 114 people. Chinese state media outlets reported on Wednesday that the warehouse company WWII International Logistics operated for months without a proper license to deal with dangerous chemicals. The country's national director of the State Administration of Work Safety has also been removed from his position and is currently under investigation. 10 directors and managers of the company are also being questioned under house arrest. Police in Thailand have released a detailed sketch and a warrant for the man they believe planted a bomb on a crowded street in central Bangkok earlier this week. Police say they do not know if the suspect is still in Thailand or what nationality he is. The drawing shows the person to be fair-skinned with thick black hair, a wispy beard and black glasses. You can see the picture there. A $28,000 reward has been offered to anyone who can provide information leading to his arrest. Authorities think the perpetrator may have been part of a network of Thai nationals. Now, Thailand's Prime Minister has appealed for the suspect to turn himself in to authorities. 20 people were killed in Monday's explosion at a busy shrine in the heart of Bangkok. Thai authorities still haven't identified all of those killed, many of whom were from other countries. A Korean couple living in the Philippines have been found dead. Both appear to have died from gunshot wounds to their necks and chests. Seoul's foreign ministry says the bodies of the husband and wife were found on Wednesday morning by a neighbor inside their home in a village south of Manila. Local police are still searching for a motive, but say it could have been an armed robbery gone wrong or murder driven by a personal grudge of some sort. The married couple, both in their 60s, have only been identified by their surnames Na and Kim. With these latest deaths, a total of 6 Koreans have been killed in the Philippines so far this year. Concern for the safety of Koreans in the Philippines has been growing amid the Southeast Asian nation's struggle to rein in violent crime. Now, the US Federal Reserve says it has not yet settled on a decision about when to raise interest rates. With the labour market improving, the Fed is hinting that it is closer to a hike, but external factors may push decision day beyond the next policy meeting in September. Gwon-soo reports.
The signals have been there for a while now, but it's appearing slightly more likely the Federal Reserve will start hiking rates next month. Minutes of the Fed's July meeting, released on Wednesday, showed officials wanted to see more evidence the U.S. economy was in good health before they start raising rates from near zero. The minutes said, quote, most judged that the conditions for policy firming had not yet been achieved, but they noted that conditions were approaching that point. The jobless rate in the U.S. stood at 5.3% in July, which is close to the between 5 and 5.2% the Fed wants to see. Tepid inflation could be a stumbling block, though. A separate government report shows consumer prices inched up just 0.1% in July and just 0.2% over the last 12 months. That's far below the 2% annual pace the Fed wants to see and considers healthy.
We think that these lower numbers in many ways are still a residual effect of commodity prices having fallen so much in the first half of the year.
While sentiment seems to be weighing towards a rate hike soon, the July meeting's minutes came before China's recent currency depreciation and also Wednesday's 6-year low in global crude prices. Some analysts say external factors like these make it hard to predict what decision the Fed will make on rates at its next policy meeting in September. Kwon So-ah, Arirang News.
The Japanese government is expected to issue a record amount of government bonds this fiscal year. Japan's Nihon Keizai Shimbun reported Thursday that the country may issue a total of 30 trillion yen, or over $242 billion worth of government bonds. The Japanese Treasury Department issued $232 billion worth of bonds during the last fiscal year. That's up 24% from the previous year, to procure necessary funding for fiscal year 2015. The figure represents an increase of 2.5 times the amount issued in the fiscal year 2012. This is before the Bank of Japan initiated its quantitative easing policy. The report added that the Japanese government's massive issuance of bonds is due to interest rates lingering in the low 0% range and growing expectations the BOJ will begin tapering, as well as the US Federal Reserve's expected rate hike by the end of this year. And Japan plans to ask the World Trade Organization to intervene and settle the issue regarding Seoul's import ban on Japanese fish products. According to sources, Japan has decided to request the trade organization to establish a dispute settlement panel to put to an end the matter, as the two countries failed to narrow their differences. The Korean government maintains that Seoul's restrictive measures on Japanese fisheries products are legitimate steps to ensure the safety of the people, while Tokyo claims they have no scientific justification. Seoul issued the ban on all fisheries products from Fukushima and 7 surrounding prefectures in September 2013 amid fears over their safety in the wake of the nuclear accident in 2011. Now, the OECD has ranked Korea in the bottom tier in terms of so-called housing well-being. Korea received just 2.6 points on a scale of 10, ranking 25th among 34 member countries. The scores were calculated based on the number of rooms per person in each country and region. Koreans living in metropolitan areas had an average of 1.3 rooms per person. Now, Canada topped the list, receiving full marks, in fact, followed by the US and Australia. Mexico finished bottom of the list with 0 points. The OECD, however, said the results did not take into consideration the country's population density or housing prices. The IT Convergence Expo Korea 2015 has officially kicked off in the southern city of Daegu. This annual event showcases the latest products in hardware and software technologies. Won Ji-yeon reports.
If you dance along to the screen while holding your smartphone, this mobile game will give you a score based on the accuracy of your performance. It will even tell you how many calories you burned while dancing. And using this smartphone app, you can remote control your gas valves at home, regardless of where you are.
All you have to do is download our application and register your home appliances under our system. It's a simple process, which also makes our service more affordable.
These are some of the cool gadgets and developments you can check out at this year's IT Convergence Expo Korea, which began on Wednesday at the Expo Convention Hall in Daegu. The annual trade show gathers vendors from all over the world to showcase a wide range of IT products and services, such as IoT, 3D printers, and drones. And to highlight the growing popularity of drones or unmanned aerial vehicles, this year's event has a special exhibition hall where visitors can check out the newest models.
I got to check out a number of different drones, from manual to automatic ones. It was nice to be able to compare the pros and cons of all the drones from different price ranges.
The expo also offers ICT seminars with industry experts, as well as business opportunities with buyers from 9 countries, including China, Vietnam, and the U.S. The 3-day event will close on August 21st. Won Ji-hyun, Arirang News.
Well, that's all we have for now. I'm Mark Broome. Have a great day, and thank you as always for watching. We do hope to see you at the same time tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.